Peace and love. Peace and love. Everybody and their grandmama is live, so I figured, why not me? So I don't expect probably to see anyone here because there's so much going on in Indian country. But that doesn't mean I should not take the opportunity, since I had a little energy, to go on with my sharing. And so going back to something that I realized, I'm gonna put this letter back up that I'm using, and I'm on my computer that I leave at home, which means I cannot touch the screen, and so I won't be doing too much with this, like opening and closing it as much. But I am basically, I'm gonna try. I can't do it. I just cannot manipulate. Maybe. Okay. All right. All right. So August 25th, 1847, Robert M. Jones of Choctaw Nation sold other Carter family members to John McDonough of Red River. That's August 25th, 1847. And what I am talking about is that I went into my third time great grandfather's source file. I'm just going the fastest way that I can go. And I'm also wanting to make sure that I have myself up on the YouTube on my phone. So just in case someone comes in, I will know about it. So I have a couple of phones that I can use with the internet only, that just like old extra phones. That way I'll be able to still do like a call in. And I have myself up on KSR Peace and Love. I don't know if you want to do I don't know if you want to do like a call in with me or whatever, but otherwise we can go ahead with what we were talking about at the time that we said. But if you want to do it earlier, we could. I only wanted to clear up something here, which was that okay, let me go back to it. That in the letter or the book page that I'm reading from regarding uh, Wash Carter and family, which is my 3X grandfather. I mean, 4X. I have to think about that. So there's Frank Jr., my grandfather, Frank Sr., my great, Jim, my great great, Bernice, or Jim and Bernice would be my great great, Mary Ann, which is Bernice's mother, my third great, and Wash is my fourth great. Okay, and so I was saying earlier this morning, I think I was saying that as far as this particular ad that I found, it's like 100 years later. I was putting myself in a place as if it were 10 years earlier, but it's like 90 years earlier. So I was confusing myself this morning when I was saying that the letter itself says that, let me pull it up once more. The letter itself says 1847, Robert Jones sells Carter family members to John McDonough. but the newspaper article says that I'm going to kind of circle around it. One of the largest transactions in Lamar County records was the sale by John Madonna to Colonel R.M. Jones of Shawneetown, and it, names off some things. So the discrepancy is, I want to bring to my cousin, is in this case, it is, let me make sure I got it clear. It is John McDonough selling to R.M. Jones. In her account, it is R.M. Jones selling to John McDonough. So I just want to, I'll get up with her regarding that. So KSR, if you're there still, so everybody else is, so many people on live right now that it was just kind of amazing. And so I just figured, why not, right? I had a little energy. I came in from work and took a nap. So I'm going to be up a little while. So I appreciate you being here. I just really trying to just get it recorded that I realized that I was making a mistake. So what I'm going to do, you didn't open none of it, did you?
No, you didn't help me open.
Let me see it. Family sidebar. See, this is why I didn't want you to open it. Now you've ruined it. Now the red is mixed with all the other colors. That's not what this is for. So you see, that's why I didn't want you to open it.
Okay.
If you're gonna mix clay together, you need to mix it together carefully. If you don't, you're just gonna come out with, you're just gonna make a mess of this expensive clay.
Okay.
And it's just gonna be useless.
Okay.
So now I'm gonna put this in something and seal it, and you'll get it when I can help you, because he didn't know what he was doing.
Okay.
All right.
It was just me and Emmy.
Yeah, but you all, that's not how to play with that kind of clay. That's baking clay. Okay. We'll talk about it soon. Okay. All right. So let's see who's here with me. Lady, it looks like Lady T. Hi, just wanted to know how can I find the source, much appreciated. Okay, which source in particular, Lady T? This source that I have up right here on the screen, or a specific source? Okay. In the meanwhile, I'm going to be working because I'm not sure what source, but if it is that you're talking about the news clippings, what I did is it took some time to find this particular source, but I looked for a source that said, okay, so in my letter, oh, it's not a letter, it's actually a page out of a book my cousin is writing. And she says here, it stated that they were the highest paid slave deal in the area. So what I did was I researched the highest paid slave deal in the area. That's what I did. So I looked for, I have newspapers. Um, I think it would be, yeah, newspapers.com as a part of my subscription. And so you can go into a search when you have newspapers.com, and you can just put in um, something that you might be interested in for a specific place. So I'm gonna see if I can find anything on the Carter family of Lamar County, just in the 1840 area or something like that. So watch my search. So I'm gonna go Carter family sold into slavery. Let's see if there's anything else that might come up. Oh, comma, Lamar County. which is the or Lamar County is the surrounding area for Red River. And let me put a year. Let me put 1850. Let's try that. See if we get anything. So once you get here, you have you can narrow your search by clicking on specific places, and they have the highlighted areas. I guess the darker areas would be more stories about something like that, based on what you're searching. This probably has nothing to do with exactly this, because it's just picking words out. No thunder. Come, mommy. Leave Yuri alone. Okay, so maybe you'll go pour her some water in her bowl in the bathroom. Yeah, just a little. Okay. Uh, so anyway, this is not a good example. Let's see. Let's try Shawnee Town, 1850, and let's try Shawnee Town, which is the name of the and the commas should separate the keywords. Let's see if we get anything. Let's see, what does this say? It's 18 Monday. Lady T, do you see what I'm doing? How I'm looking at this? And I'm okay. So, like, for example, these are my um key words that I want to be a part of my search. And I'm just looking for anything regarding Shawnee Town in the year 1850, and I'm going to add Texas. Although this looks like, looks like it may have something to do with Indians. Let's just add Texas. And then newspapers.com will give you sources, newspaper articles. So because I see Louisville, Kentucky, I don't think this would be in reference to my Shawnee Town, but it could, let's see, because these words are not all together. They could be like, this is a man from Shawnee Town. I can't. Okay, there we go. This is sudden death. A man from Shawnee Town who shipped as a firearm on the steamer dove on her last trip came to his death in a very singular and sudden manner. He was in a playful way tantalizing one of the Negro firemen when the Negro slapped him on the stomach with his hand, from the effects of which he died in less than 2 hours. I mean, this is an interesting story, but it doesn't. So this is what they did. They just picked out that Shawnee Town is mentioned in this article, uh, and looks like the same page might have something about the word Shawnee Town spelled out. Um, that specific source that I found, it's been a while. I'm gonna say It's saved in my account. So like, that's a public tree. If you were interested in knowing more about that, you can email. I'm putting I'll put come over there and put in the chat if you're interested in that specific source, because to find it, to tell you how to find it, I'm not sure, but I could, I could just think about it long enough or try a few things. So this is my email. If you want that specific source, you can email me and I will try to see if I could just copy it and get it to you. But it is via newspapers.com.
Down there, right here.
So okay, so I'm gonna go back to newspapers.com and I'm gonna look for Wash Carter. Although I believe that his name was technically George Washington Carter. I'm sorry, I am also a carver. Carter, and in Shawneetown. I don't know why my computer is jumping. Let's see if I could just find something on him. Probably should have put a year. 1870. Let's see what happens if I do that. See if I can find something on him. Well, automatically, I'm looking over here where it says Kansas and Memphis, and because it'll tell you the name of the paper first. But I'm going to look here first. No matches in Texas. In Illinois, there are 5 matches. You see, the darker it is, the more matches. That there's a story that has those key terms in it. I don't know how Kansas got in there. Maybe I clicked it. So this is exploration for me too. I'm going to email you some notes, but I recently found about my grandfather showing he was Creek Indian. Okay, that's cool. I'll be looking forward to seeing your email. So I'm doing 1870. I'm going to try to narrow this search by going Carter, and then I'm going to do Red River, Texas. See if I can find something. Well, at least there are some stories in Texas. So I'm going to isolate it to Texas. What is the matter? Why? Did you drink too much water? Do you need to go to the bathroom? Next time, don't drink so much water, okay?
Okay.
Drink a little bit at a time.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So I'm in Texas now with which is 27 matches in Texas, and now I'm looking for, I would love to see maybe Paris, Texas, because I know there was a paper in Paris, Texas. But all of these are the Galveston, Texas. Okay, that's all of them. Sorry about the scrolling. Um, so now I'm gonna get out of this and go back to my source and just look at a little more history that's on that particular page. Because one thing that I noticed is, okay, this is the Paris News, Paris, Texas. Um, and it's I did never read this whole entire page, but it is the history of Lamar County. That's what that is. I'm not gonna stay on here. I'm gonna do a little something else before I go here. Go there. It says in this chapter, read of the United States Census of 1860, the schools and churches, failure of the wheat crop, some of the merchants, lawyers, and doctors who served the people. Colonel Jones buys farms and Negro slaves, which is referring to my family. Youths of both races, apprentices, the church services, horse racing was sport. Claiborne Chisuni, first Paris settler, dies. New legislators, toll roads and bridges projected. Next, Lamar County goes to war. So that should be interesting. Interesting. Here's Negroes well treated. And it may be something interesting in this reading. Might even find something. I see the word mulatto. So let me just read a portion here. I'll make it bigger. Okay, KSR will do. Matter of fact, I can do it right now. Okay, that sounds good. All right. So okay, I want to read a little bit of this. So Lady T, if you are still right here, that specific clipping, if you went to newspapers.com, maybe put in the exact date, July 18th, 1937, Lamar County history or the history of Lamar County. That might get you on that page. Like if I wanted to, I think like if I wanted to come here, I think it's a way to clip. So I would just do clip right up at the top where I have clip, and then I can actually like pull this right. So let's go with I'm gonna highlight this area, and I could just add this as a clip to a file in my tree. I want to read this though. This could be, who knows? It could be referring to someone in my family. All right, let me. Okay, I'm having a hard time. All right, look at here. All right, I guess I have to scroll down more to get more of it. So I want you to remember that I am a amateur genealogist, and I recently found out that amateur does not mean that you are uh, not good. That you are insufficient. It means that you have a love or passion for something. So okay, so now I'm going to read this. In 1849, Cyrus K. Holman and wife owing John R. Craddock $350 borrowed money, gave Jacob Long a deed of trust to a Negro girl named Ellen, 14 years old, as security, and the girl was to live with Craddock and work for him as interest on the note. Negro slaves were seldom mistreated. Despite Uncle Tom's Cabin and other authorities along that line, they were too valuable. Neither were they allowed to become vagrants and suffer for food and clothing, and the records of the courts show numerous cases of payments of doctors' bills and medicines for slaves made by executors of estates where the owners of the Negroes had died before these bills were settled. In 1856, a Negro child, Levi, aged 20 months, was indentured to James Chisholm by the court. The child was apparently an orphan of unknown parents, and Chisholm gave bond of $1,000 that he would treat the boy well, feed and clothe him, and teach him to work. But before he got big enough to be of any service, the war freed him. Frequently, also Negro slaves were manumitted or freed by their owners. That was the case with a mulatto man, Bob, who came to Lamar County in 1847, bringing with him his papers, which were recorded in the county clerk's office so that there would be no question of him being a runaway. He had been freed by James Holyfield of Conway County, Arkansas, who had received him from Ben Owens, father in law of Holyfield. The paper was attested by James Simmons, clerk of the Conway County, and this certificate was followed by that of Governor Drew of Arkansas, settling out that Simmons was, in fact, the county clerk and his signature was genuine. Now, I don't know what that says. I mean, I couldn't comprehend this. The paper was attested by James Simmons, clerk of Conway County. Um, and this certificate was followed by that of Governor Drew of Arkansas, setting out that Simmons was, in fact, the county clerk and his signature was genuine. So it sounds like not contested, but it sounds like the paper. See, that's this is one of the reasons why we have to be defined, attested. I think that means that's who signed it. Let's see, what does attested mean? Provide or serve as clear evidence of his status is attested by his recent promotion to declare that something exists or is the case. So immediately when I first read that, I felt like I was reading the word contested, but it was not. It is actually um, attested. So that is who actually signed that document. So I was wondering if I could find something that would maybe be talking about the Indians. And I also wanted to say that in this circumstance right here, I would actually do this genealogy. I would do the genealogy of the named people here, and to see what truth comes out of this story, just as a sport, if I could say that. But let me come back over here. Let's see, is anybody here with me? Anybody um want to do a specific search for anyone really quick? I wouldn't be for very long. What I but I am willing to if anybody is interested. Otherwise, I'm going to just do a little work on my Carter line. Okay. So one of the things that I do is I'm gonna share my screen again. Oh, no wonder. Okay, one of the things that I do, if I'm working, like, okay, I've been working on some things over here. I want to close out a few things. I just want to start a new document. And I will just put on there March, I think today is March 12th, 2020. Thursday, and I'll just go up here. I don't know why I was looking at this, so I'll go back a couple of steps to see. Oh, I remember now. Maybe I better leave that up. That's something I think we're gonna work on. Well, I'll just.
Yeah,
I can't remember. Control C. Control C is gonna copy it. Your stomach was just hurting, and you're gonna drink some more water, and you think it was because of your stomach. I mean, you think it's because of the water.
because my tongue.
Yeah, but I don't think you should drink too much more water right now. Okay, and Control V is going to give me, so I can always go back to this page, and I'll just make a note underneath it. John Amison. It was search for a friend. Let me add the word recent. So I'm just kind of taking you along. Now I can exit that because I can always find it back here. Oops. And what was the last? What's this right here? I don't know why I was looking at Otis. I remember this. See, when I'm at home, I use this computer on more on occasion, not as often. I don't know. This has something to do with, yeah, I remember. This is a DNA match. So the difference between me and most of the people who are doing genealogy in Indian country is that I do use DNA, and that kind of seems to be, that kind of sets me apart. All right, Control C. This is just, if I wanted to quickly reference Control V, gives me, and then I'll put underneath it. And this is just initials of the people or nicknames for the people that all right, and now I can erase that. This is just so I could clear up a few things. Control V or C. Go back to my document. Control V. Okay. Now I can erase that. Yeah, I was trying to figure out this match. And I must have been deeply involved with trying to figure that out the last time I was working. And now I'm down to, I don't know, this was a source. I'm going to leave that one up. All right. So, so now I'm going to work for a few minutes. KSI, I wonder what you mean by that, dodging the hijack with the DNA. Probably, I'm thinking you're saying like maybe you're saying that I'm making best use of the DNA, regardless of the obvious push toward not using it. Because see, for me, DNA. Okay, I want to say something. What I just did, and I do a lot. If you double click on a name, it'll take you right into the record where you could do a quick edit. And that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to just open it up. In order to just open it up, you just have to hit it once and be patient, and then it'll just take you to the profile in a way that you can see related people. All right. So this is Mary Ann Reed at the last we saw of her. Let me see what hint I have for her. Yeah, I think I already have this. I don't like this particular source only because it really doesn't say anything too much. It only has a death date and a name. It has no association to other people. It says your genealogy looks so organized, mine is so sloppy. And ooh, you know what? When I started out, I was doing all kind of crazy stuff, Lady T. Um, and I learned pretty early on that that you have to be very careful in the first place. So I had a lot of cleaning up to do, and I still have cleaning up to do. So this source right here, this is a source that only if you have something else, it could be like a backup source. Because look, see, there are two Mary Ann Carters here, one in Bell and one in Lamar. This could be, my Mary Ann. It's no way to know. It has no association. You would have to know these dates. You would have to know the date of death for this to be like a support source. Thank you, Lady T. Yeah, that's what I thought you were talking about, my tree. I'm saying that when I initially started saving to my tree, when I initially started saving to my tree, it didn't look so good. It was bad. I was one of the things that helped me a lot in having a very I would have to see what you mean, but for me to actually what you mean when you say yours is sloppy. Yeah, and that's where I'm at too. I'm at the place where I'm ready to start creating a book where I can copy and give it to my family, because I would like for my grandchildren and anybody else, any adult that's interested, to actually practice the names and know it by heart, know as much of the tree as they can by heart, develop quizzes and things of that sort, so that they can be interactive and involved with genealogy. Okay, KSI, let's see, what did you say here? You say, from what I see, you were using the DNA not to subject to that narrative of right. I never use it. I don't even think, I can't remember the last time I looked at DNA as far as mapping. That's right. Yeah, it makes sense to put the pieces together, and that's absolutely what I'm doing. And one of the reasons that I'm doing it publicly like this as well is I really hope to come across people who say, hey, I'm a part of that family, and that is exactly why I do this. So what I want to I probably, this is not necessarily off subject, but so Mary Ann Wilson is Bernice Wilson's mother, my great grandfather's mother. Bernice Wilson is Mary Ann Wilson's daughter. She's married, and she's a Wilson that is married, and this is her and her children listed in 1880. I can't not find them in 1870. Right, that's what I was going to say. So Lady T says, I know what you're talking about. My grandmother and I have the same name. The only difference is the maiden last name, and my grandmother and my sister have the same name, right? Yeah, and so I have all kinds of little things that I do in my notes so that I don't have to. I use the surname box to put little notes, and sometimes, like instead of a middle name, or as a part of the area that you would normally see a middle name, I will use that area to describe which Mary I'm talking about, for example. So if the mother's name is Mary and the daughter name is Mary, the first thing is that the mother should have either know, if you don't know the maiden name, you should leave it blank. You should. I have found that it causes lots of problems or it can create less hints to use the married name in the surname box for a married woman. Let me come back over there, as a matter of fact. I want to put that up on screen. Lady T says, yes, same. That's exactly what I've been thinking about. I want to give my family a book. We definitely are going to have to get together. Sure thing. And share how to work this process out, girl. I'm with you on that. So yeah, that's great. I'm happy to see you here, and I am looking forward, because I remember when there was some genealogy being advertised, or maybe there was a TV special where the colored rendition of maybe president, one of the presidents, I think it's the Sally, oh, I can't think of it, but it's a story that was very famous, and all of the people were taking the DNA test, I think, and finding out Sally Hemingfield, maybe Hemingway, and I remember that they put together like poems and songs so that they could actually teach the children in the family how to remember, how to remember who's who. And I think that is so important. We know, we got all the school history that we're learning about other people, and the majority of people, at least in my community, do not know. I mean, I ask young ladies that I work with, and they don't know past their great grandmother. They might know their great great grandmother's name, maybe. And that's just not okay. So, okay, let me come back to my screen share, and I'm going back. So, this is my only account of Mary Ann Carter. And here's one of the cases where it's this is 1880. I might have passed it already. Okay, it's 1880, and it's really unusual for 1880 not to be highlighted. But here's Mary Ann. Her married name is Wilson, and this is her son. You can see her here. Remember, if you've been here with me a few times, you might see that you can invert colors so that you can see a little. Sorry about that. This is because this is as much as I could open it up anyway. All right. So here's Mary Ann, and she's living in Lamar, Precinct 7, but her family was from Red River. And her son, Robert. And Robert is more than 10 years old. So it should have been a little bit easier to find her in 1870 with a child named Robert, and Alfred, and John, and Samuel, and Alice. And believe it or not, I have DNA connections with the majority of her children. This is not all of her children. Okay, so this was the, and remember that if you already have a source saved, they gave it to me as a suggested record. I already have it saved. This is my public tree, the A.A. Sanders family tree chapter. And then this is a private tree that I just used to work out where I, was looking for Mary Ann. Um, so here are some other sources. I'm looking for her because this is the only time that I see her on a census report. This is no um, has no image, but she does have a son, Lige, that I have saved and researched. And this is her daughter, Georgia. She had maybe 7 to 9 children. I'm surprised that they don't have more suggested records for her over here because they did just a minute ago. For this record, they had more. But here's a death certificate, and this is Alf. And we did just see Alf. You probably may not remember that. We did see Alf um, on another page. And one of the things I want to mention since I'm here is one of the things that I usually do, and I wasn't doing this at first, is I look at the death certificate um, and I always make a note of, okay, so here we see the name of the deceased is Alf, that his father's name is John Wilson, and that his mother's name is Polly Reed. That is so different from Mary Ann Carter or Mary Ann Wilson. So what Sylvia Wilson, the informant, has done in this case is she's put Polly, which you find with Mary's name a lot. Like a lot of Marys are also Pollys. I figured that out. So I'm like, where did the Polly come from? But a lot of Marys are called Polly as if it is interchangeable. I'm not sure what the story is behind that, but she must have married a Reed at some point because Polly Reed is on more than one of her children's death certificates. The informant is Miss Sylvia Wilson, I do have this saved, and on all of the death certificates that I save, I usually write in a comment over here for the public to see, and I'll do it here, that the death certificate informant, because that's not a part. I usually put death cert informant is Sylvia. Well, it's Mrs. And I believe that's his wife. We're gonna see Sylvia. I'm sorry, Sylvia Wilson. I always include who was on the death certificate because they don't do that, because that is a part of the what of a name on that record that could be helpful. And then I'm gonna put in parentheses possibly wife of Alf. I think she is. I do believe Alf married Sylvia Wilson. But we're gonna check it out real quick. So as you see, I have this record already saved, so I can quickly go back into my tree by clicking on the record that's above. And I can just go to Alf, her son Alf, or Alfred. And I can, he's married to a Mariah Turner and a Sylvia Jones. Now, here's something that I usually do, and I didn't do it on these, so I haven't gotten back to it. Now, although I have their maiden name there, and how do I know it's their maiden? It could be a married name. The reason I know that Mariah's name is Turner because it's on the marriage uh, document. But that could be a second marriage too. You know, it doesn't have to mean that. Um, so let's see if this is it might be her maiden name. It looks like I don't have this saved. So I'm going to go ahead and save this. If it was saved, you would see it up here underneath the bold letters that tell you what the source is. You will see it right under there. So I don't have that saved. I'm pretty sure this is them. You know what? Rather than just go with it, I'm going to take a look. It's tedious work, but it is so worth it. So the signature is Leona Wilson, and that and signature and informant is the same. And here's one where someone was shot with a gun. See here, shotgun wound in right side of chest and right arm. So this is for George Wilson. Now I might have that he has a son whose name is George Wilson. Uh, Here's how I would know. I got to go back. Here's how I would determine, yeah, this is his son. I need to know if this is Paris, Texas, and it is. So Paris, Lamar County, or if it was, somewhere nearby, I would probably dig a little deeper. But being that it is in Paris, Texas, and I know that's where they were, I'm going to accept this as a source. So I'm going to save it to someone in my tree, my A.A. Sanders tree. And I'm going to know her name is Mariah in my tree, but I'm just going to go with Turner first of all. And then M-A-R, she should come up. That's her. And attach Alf. And here's George. And George was already there. Let me undo this. The reason I know that George is already in the tree is because he's already over here. He's just like, in the background. If he wasn't in the tree, then it would not be there. So I'm just adding a source to George. That's great. So I found a new source. One thing I didn't just do was I didn't click to change and put that birth date. So I'm going to just press the back key. And I'm just going to just save them again. and I'm gonna change it to that birth date that they have. And I know that Alf was born in Red River, Texas. He might have been born in Lamar County. I'm just put him in Lamar County for now. He might have been born in Red River though, but they're adjacent. That should not hurt anything. So all right. So here's what I do now. When I have a woman, uh, and I'm assuming that her maiden name is Turner. It could be from a first marriage, it's possible, but I know that she was married to Wilson, so I will put a slash Wilson after her name. So you know that tells me that Mariah is married to a Wilson. I'm almost wanting to start put slash in the husband's full name. Like you could put as much as you want. Watch this. Watch this. This slash Wilson, it won't influence it won't influence anything with like searching, further searching. So I'm just saying, like, I don't know how long I could press these X's. I'm gonna take them off, but I'm just saying I could do that. So you could put a note there. And so I like to make use of what I can see immediately, right? I like to I just wanted to do that to show you that you can, you know, you can use this space to put a note if you wanted to help you out so that you don't have to go over here and view notes. I don't have to open up anything else. I want to just, see things quickly. And so Alf had another wife. So Sylvia, which is who signed. Sylvia is the one who signed. I believe it was Sylvia. One of the reasons I believe it was Sylvia. I wonder, when did he marry? So look at here. I have that Sylvia has a spouse named Reed as well. Let's see what source I have for him. I don't have a source for him. I don't know why I have that. There must be, it might be a part of the obituary. I don't know. I don't get this because this is referencing Alfred. I don't know why I got Reed right there. You know what? It's probably because it's on one of their children's death certificates or something. Let's see what this is. This is probably marriage to. Oh yeah, Sylvia Reed. See, that's view record. So I'm going to show you. So Sylvia Reed, spouse is Alf Wilson. So Sylvia could have been a Reed and married to the Jones in between. I don't know if Reed is her married name, like her first marriage, because, as you can see, she is not Alf's first wife, so she could have been married to Jones. It would have been nice if on the death certificates, it would have been nice if that on the death certificates they were strict about making sure that they were clear, like make sure that it is the maiden name, or put that you don't know the maiden name. Okay, so this is their daughter, Lizzie Hilburn, and she says her mother's maiden name was Jones. So Sylvia might have been married to a Reed, And if you see here, the informant signature is Sylvia Wilson. I think that that is the wife again. This daughter, she passed in 1950. All right. So I'm going to say that Reed is a was one of the people that she might have married. All right. And see here, Wilson, Lizzie Wilson it has no indication that she was married to a Hilburn other than here. So I'm gonna just correct a couple of things really quick. See, these are things that I'm going back. I learned about that. This helps me. So Lizzie was a she was a Hilburn and slash she was a Mitchell. If you could see there, she also married a Mitchell. I try to do it in chronological order, like she was married to Hilburn first and then Mitchell second. I imagine. I really don't know if it's which order that is because her death record shows her as a Hilburn. That tells me that she was married to a Hilburn second, right? So I'm gonna go back into edit, right? And I want to put the marriages in orders, right? Hilburn first, Mitchell second. That'll work. That's how I like it. If y'all hear me, y'all understand why I'm doing that. This way, when you see Lizzie, you automatically know she was once a Hilburn, she was once a Mitchell. I know it automatically. So I'm going back now to Sylvia Jones, and I'm gonna do what? I'm going to add in the fact that she was a Reed first. She was married. She was a Reed before she got married, and then she was a Wilson. Reed. So I got slash Reed slash Wilson. If she had a middle name, it would be like just say her name was Sylvia Ann. Then I would have Sylvia Ann. I would have Sylvia Ann. Oops, not there. It would be her middle name, Sylvia Ann, and then her two last names. Okay. It's just a real quick reference. I'm not gonna go into I'm not gonna go any further into that right now. Because I could get caught up in making corrections, and you know it's important, but I do want to keep going. So I don't know what Reed she was married to. Let me look at the hints for her. Three others. Let's look at the three trees. One of the things that I want to do, I'm gonna come over here just in case. I want you all to see the I want you all to be able to see the whole thing. Let's see what this says. KSR, yes, we on the same frequency of energy. Sharing our knowledge together will get us through. That's right. And it's all a gift from the Most High and our ancestors. I believe that's true. All right. So I'm looking at the other people who are saving Sylvia. And when I look at the other people who are saving people, I don't save them. And the reason I don't save them is because I found out that they will continue to give you other family trees, even if you save family trees. But at first they weren't. If you save a family tree, then you lose access to the other family trees. And I didn't want to lose that. So I have, so I'm just looking at, it's interesting, this tree for Davis. She has Lizzie and Pearlie and Willie and Jesse. And this Willie is probably a different source, but in 1902. But she also has Sylvia having George and Roxy and Ross and Charlie in the earlier years. And I don't have that. So, of course, I'm going to click on her Sylvia Wilson. You see, she's got Wilson. She doesn't have the maiden name. And she doesn't have any sources, but you know, I don't know. Her source is other family trees. I'm gonna look at that, but the first thing I want to do is I'm going too far. The first thing I want to do is I want to look at Roxy is a pretty unique name, Roxy Wilson, and I'm gonna do a search for Roxy, which should have those parents. So right now I'm just looking at who what tree does she have. So she has me as her source for Roxy Wilson, but I didn't see Roxy Wilson. Oh, okay. So you see, okay. So what happened here is Roxy is a Wilson, but she is not Sylvia's daughter. And those are really important to me. Like, I got real issues with that. Okay. So now I'm going to go back to my tree. I do have Roxy and Ross and that. Okay. So to get back to my tree, I'm just going to do the back key. I'm back in my tree and I'm going to look at Alfred. See here, Charlie and Roscoe or Ross and Roxy. Those are I don't even think she had Jesse. You know what's really strange is, and I know that is very possible, is that George Wilson is born in 1908, but he's already having children with Sylvia at the same time. When I see something like that, I just want to make sure. Um, I just want to look at it and make sure what I see looks right. So let me see him in 1910. George Wilson is in the house with Sylvia. I'm gonna view the image. So he's married to Sylvia already. This is why I stay up so late. There's George. Why do I have George? So obviously George says that his mother is the Mariah. Okay. So he's in the house in 1910 with he's in the house with Sylvia. That's a death certificate for one of his children. And this is why we looked at this earlier. The reason why is because George's death certificate says that his mother is Mariah Turner. So in 1908, according to this, his mother is Mariah. So was he married? Let's look at his. I'm looking at Alf. Was he married after? Well, he married Sylvia in 1907. Y'all see? And if y'all not seeing right now, maybe if someone looks at this later, he married Sylvia in 1907. George is supposed to have been born to Mariah in 1908. But Willie Wilson and Pearlie Wilson. Now I'm curious to see is are they really is Pearlie and Willie really Alf's children?
I'm scratchy like a real. I'm a scratchy.
I mean, it's possible that he could have been having children with two different women at the same time. That's not so, that bizarre that I don't believe that, but
This whale was right. Oh my god.
I don't have any more records of for Pearlie. I I know that Sylvia was a Reed before 1910, but there's a huge gap between 19. I'm sorry. Yeah, no, I should be able to find Sylvia in 1900. Where's Alf at in 1900? Alf is with Mary, right? And look at that. That says, okay, let's view the image. Private eye, been watching you. That's what it feel like. Okay, so look. All right, so here's Alf. If he's having children with Sylvia, she should be close by. That makes sense, right? So here's Alf with Mary. George is not born yet. And maybe a few other children are not born yet. 7 years from now, or 5 years from now, he's having children with Sylvia, according to this. So I'm looking for Sylvia, who was supposed to be a Jones. Okay, there's some Jones right there. They are not mulatto or considered black. They're considered white. I just flipped the page. This is a reed. So the reeds are close by. Is another reed right here. Uh-oh. I need to plug my phone in. I need my phone. I need to plug it up. Yeah. Why don't you give me the cord? Thank you. Take it off of my headset right there. Thank you, Mom.
Here.
All right. Go ahead. All right. All right. So I'm looking for Sylvia because she should be close by. I mean, I would think, right?
What charge?
I'll give me my headset off the floor.
It needs to be charged.
Yeah, but I want the cord. No, these should be ready to go. Give me the cord. Thank you. Thank you, Yuri.
You're welcome. You are the best, Yachty.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Okay. Since you got the glasses.
All right. So I'm only going to look a page before and the page back looking for Sylvia. And I'm just really looking for right now, right off the back, I'm just looking for Reed, a Sylvia Reed. or a Jones. All right. So I'm not gonna spend a whole lot of time on that. I just I'm just side eyeing this. So there is something else that we will look at. I bet I don't have any more sources. See, I don't have any more sources on these two, which makes me think that they are probably not Wilson's. Oh, well, here's a. So I do have more on Willie. It does look like Willie is saying he's his son. I'm gonna save a few of these sources. Let's see. But if she's being married in 1907 and her last name is Reed, I just really have a feeling that Willie is a Reed and Pearl is a Reed. That's really what I think. So I have a couple of people here that are saving a Willie Reed, but I'm sorry, Willie Wilson. But none of them have any sources. Like one source is gonna be what the same one source I have. So I'm pretty convinced that this is a discrepancy. But I am gonna review this newspaper clipping. Oh, this is Alf's. I wanted to review this anyway. So this is Alf's, and he says that Alf Wilson, 90-year-old Negro resident of Route 6, Paris, died Sunday at 3 a.m. at home after being ill sometime. Surviving are his wife Sylvia, but I know he married Cynthia Battle. So now I wonder, when did he marry her? I got some research to do here. So it says here, surviving are his wife Sylvia, two sons, Roscoe Wilson of Paris and Willie Wilson, Oklahoma City. Other descendants, 33 other descendants, a brother Lige, that's true, of Grant, and a sister, Miss Georgia Ellis, that's true. The funeral will be Thursday. Okay, so Willie was raised. He was in the house with Alf. By the time he was 6, well, let's see, he was born in 1904. His mother married Alf by the time he was 3 years old. He could be his son. But according to this, all of Alf's children are gone on to glory by the date on this paper, December of 1958. So all of his children are gone by then, but they just didn't include him. So yeah, that's what it says. You see those names are highlighted because they are um they are already there. This won't have anything. The Social Security application, if it doesn't show some names with it, Let me see his draft card. I know this is him. Wow, that's big writing. Willie Wilson. That could be him. It's usually two pages or two parts to a card. It's always nice. Some people collect, they when you see a signature that's not an X, some people actually start a collection of those signatures. And I always tend to want to look to see if there are any other obvious physical characteristics. That's just something that I'm interested in. And it'll just tell you a little more about the register's observation of the person. All right. I think that's Willie, but there's no real way to tell other than if his birth date is the same on something else. Yeah, okay, so this is Willie. Yeah, I just think I don't understand why I don't have more than one source for Pearl, but this is her right here. I could have sworn I only had one source for her. Oh, that is the one source? This is not making sense. Okay, that's a 1920 source. Pearlie is 14. So I thought that I have her in 1910. Let's see. If I go to Alf, and in 1910, I thought that he was already with Sylvia and her children. Okay, so Sylvia. So in 1910, Pearlie and Willie are not in the house. She's with him. You see this? So in 1910, Sylvia is in the house with Alf, but Pearlie and Willie are not in the house with her. That's an indication. Again, that's an indication that they are not um, Alf's biological children. So in this case, it's really important to view the image and see if we see a household with the Pearlie in it. Willie is a more common name, and are there Reeds close by? That's something strange about that. They've been married for 3 years. I'm just going a page before and a page after. See if I see a Reed family or a Jones family. They might have been in the house with her All right. Okay. So now at this point, I'm going to leave it alone, right? But I'm going to make a note, right? Guess where I'm going to make the note at? I'm not going to make a note that I have to open up. I want a note that I can see clearly. I'm going to make a note and what would be nice is to find an obituary where I could see Willie and Pearlie on it. You know, it's strange things going on because he had way too many. Alf had way too many children, and okay. First of all, let me just show you. I'm gonna edit and make a note in the suffix box that says Willie is not in home with mom with mother. That's what I'm gonna say in 1910. What? Where is he? And sister Pearl. And then I'm also gonna put a parenthesis. Oops. I'm also gonna put a parenthesis. Sylvia mom was Reed. Surname Reed in 1907 on marriage cert. Okay, that does not change my ability to do research, and it's just really clear once when I come up. That's a lie. I don't want it just to show you that you could put stuff in that box. So now I have that, and then I'm gonna edit, and I'm gonna just copy and paste it. So I'm just gonna from not at home. I'm just gonna highlight. Oh, and then I'm gonna do Control C. Oh, it didn't work. I just want to add this to Pearl. Control C. And now I'm just going to go to Pearl, his sibling. And let's see what the hint is for Pearl. No. And I'm just going to add that to her suffix box. Control V. And then I just want to go she and bro Willie. I don't know why that skipped. That's enough anyway. It just skipped again. Why did it skip? And save. So when I come across it again, I got a note. I got a hint for her that just showed up. That wasn't there. There's no way to know. There's no way to know that that's her. No. All right. So I'm going to Lizzie, who. So did all of his children really die? Let's see if I got. Oh, I don't have death dates, but Roscoe didn't die before him, and he wasn't listed as one of his children. George did. Um, Wait a minute, this is Lizzie. I'm talking about Alfred. Did all of Alfred's children really die before him? I don't have death dates, but Roscoe, yeah, I don't have death dates for them. So look at here. Could it really be a maybe this is Willie in 1910. Maybe it's actually that Willie was listed as a female, but it's really not a female. And maybe that just leaves Pearlie. Says daughter. She's 8. I mean, it could be. So I'll just make a note, right? I'm just going to make a note for this Willie. Oh, well, let me look at the hints first of all. Okay, well, look at here. I might as well look at it. It says Alfred, but the mother is Anna. This might not be them. It depends on where. It don't. I didn't see. I don't think they show you really where. This is not them. This is morning. Well, this is Delaware. That's not. That's not her. Oh, you. Will you go? Will you feel like turning that heater off? So Willie Wilson has no other sources than these are hard to I can see if this no, no, that's not her. I mean, so I could push the bar to I mean, I should see her in 1920. So let me just do a census. If if she's born in 1902, uh, she's 8 in 1910. She's 18. I mean, she could be married by 1920. Here's a here's a Willie Wilson. And no, I don't think that's her. Hmm. I mean, there are hijacks where you might see people listed as white, but here's a Wilson. Well, let's just look at this one in Paris, Texas. But her birth year is actually 1880. That's not going to work for me. No. So this Willie Wilson could actually be the Willie Wilson because of Alf's uh, because of his obituary. It's really hard to know because they only listed a couple of children. And nobody else is saving these people or ancestry would give me a clue. So let's see. We got a death date for Roscoe. Maybe he has an obituary. Let's see. A newspaper obituary. Okay, he's got a Willie Wilson there. Let's see. Is that Willie his sister or Willie his brother? Oh, this is the same thing. That's all. Roscoe and Willie. Okay. So I'm at a loss right there. Let me come back over and see. KSR, are you still around? KSR, are you still with me? It's like 11 something. I was hoping we can get a little time in before I crash again. Let me know. Right now. I'm just gonna add a note. I'm gonna add a note to Willie, the female. I wonder what happened to Roxy. Okay, so I'm just gonna go in and I'm gonna edit in the surname box that I'm just gonna do. Could this be Willie, the son listed in the 1920 census? Question marks. If I ever revisit this again, like some, you gotta choose your poison. You know. KSR, did you want to call me? Or were we gonna do something online or offline? Let me see if I can. I said that Roxy was a little bit of more of a see what hint we have for Roxy. Just that she's in two trees. Let's see if we could, if we do a search for her, can we find her? Is this Roxy? This is Willie Wilson's daughter. I do think that this is Willie Wilson, his son, maybe born in 1905. How I search this out? Let's see what you got, KSR. Okay. We might have to do tomorrow. We might have to do tomorrow because I gotta be up for work. I have committed to a carpool so that I could force myself to do the right thing. And so I better go on and go back to bed for the night if I'm gonna be up because I gotta get up and start getting ready like 4 o'clock in the morning. So so I'm gonna wrap this up, but maybe we could do something. I think we had a plan for tomorrow anyway, because you say it might be about 25 more minutes, and I could tell I'm winding down. So okay, so look, this is how I can tell if this is Willie the son. Is first of all, did he name his daughter after his sister? Second of all, is he close to other people who are in that family, right? Well, one person that he's close to, and it's only because I know that I know my tree. Bob Ellis married Georgia, and this is Georgia Wilson. They put it as Gersey or something, but that's actually a Wilson that Bob Ellis married. So if that's the case, Willie is close to his aunt, and let's see if we see any other Wilsons nearby. If that is, in fact, him. That's his uncle Bob, Bob Wilson and Vina. Uh, So that's a page before and a page after, and those are relatives. That's Alf's brother and sister. I'll show you. Alf has a sister named Georgia and a brother named Bob. And Georgia married a I'm sorry, yeah, I said it right. He has a sister named Georgia who married Bob Ellis, and he has a brother named uh, Bob who married Vina. That's the confusion, is that it's two Bobs there. So that could be. So the first thing you want to do is you want to save this. If you just undoubt it, save it to your shoebox. That'll be a way to get back to it quickly. All right. So what I'm doing is going back. I want to show you. I want to show you that Alf has siblings, Bob, who married Vina. I'm clicking on Bob. See, he married Vina. And I have that source saved too for them. And then I forget which census year it is, but I do have that. And then he has a sister named Georgia, watch, who married Bob Ellis. And see how this would be helpful. I don't have that. See, there's Bob Ellis. It was her second husband. But what I didn't have, which would have been helpful, is should have right here. First of all, she married a Brown first, and a Ellis second. If I had that there, then it makes it easy for you to see without seeing. All right. So that I think that is the Willie. So I got it saved to my shoebox. If I had got far away from it, I could just go back to my shoebox, um, and I'm going to show you that, right? So if I want to go to my shoebox, I go home. I go down to shoebox, and it should be the last source right here. And that's his Roxy that he named after his sister. And because she is technically Roxy Wilson, and so is Willie Wilson's sister, although I don't think he really is a Wilson. I just don't know. I don't know. I'm going to save this to Willie. Either the one that Willie that says daughter is actually a son, or something is going on with that. So I'm going to save it to Willie, that is Sylvia's son, not the daughter of Mariah. Okay, so Willie, I should have did this could be this is the note I just made for the one, and so I'm gonna save it to this one. I got some other Willies in there. I should have just stayed there and showed a few things there. So that's how you get back to your shoebox. But Willie married a Mary. And so I'm not gonna keep that Wilson there. I'm gonna make it like a slash. I don't know what her last name is now, but I'm gonna leave it blank until I do. And these are their children. And because Roxy has the very same name, even though the year of birth is easily different, I'm going to make it a small r, and I'm going to put a half of the first part of a parentheses, and I'm going to put AFT and paternal, PAT, and aunt, AUNT, after paternal aunt. Okay? I almost want to put after I almost want to put possibly step aunt, but I'll leave it after paternal aunt. But Roxy was the daughter of Mariah, so it is a half aunt, and save it. And you just never know who home you might find someone in that's not gonna be, it won't save. The ancestry database saves mother, father, and children. If you have an in-law in the house, you can go back and you could, it'll save the in-law if you go back and highlight the wife of the male or whatever. It'll save the in-law that way. But if you have an aunt in the house or a grandmother in the house, it won't save it. You got to go back. You got to go back and make provisions to save that person. So you never know. Roxy, she's born in 29. 10 years from now, let's see. Maybe it'll give us where Roxy is. And I'm looking for hints for Roxy. Where is Roxy in 1940? Because we have up to 1940 in census. Oh, y'all, I had my phone turned sideways, so that's fine, you say? Okay, right, because you see what I'm doing. KSR, you starting to know me too well. I'm supposed to be getting some Z's already, right? Yep. Okay, we'll see. All right, so let's see. Do we see a Roxy in 1940? So I'm gonna Ancestry is not giving it might can scroll down, but usually if you okay. Usually if you have a census available, it's the first thing that shows up. So I'm just gonna go with 1940. And then I'm gonna make her name closer to Roxy. And then I'm gonna make see how this says lived in Lamar, Arkansas. That's not right. I have to edit the search. I don't know why Ancestry has made Lamar, Arkansas when it's not. It's Lamar, Paris, or Lamar County. You could put, but for some reason, Ancestry's database is making that say Arkansas. It's not true, unless that was a part of Arkansas. So when I change that, does that help? It doesn't. All right, her brother has a very unique name. Let's see if we get something on him. Where are you, Harnian? You got a couple of hints. Where is he in 1940? I don't get this. So I'm back at Willie to see what hints I have for the father. I have 1940. I don't know. So this Willie Wilson, it says he they have it spelled wrong, but I guess because his inferred residence in 5 years before then is Paris Le Man, and maybe it's just one. And he's alone. And Mary is such a common name, unless I could figure out who the Mary is. Gretchen, peace and love to you. I'm happy to see you. Okay, I know it's a lot going on everywhere. Y'all gonna make me stay up tonight. That's okay. It's okay. Let's see. I won't stay on too much longer. All right, so look at this. Willie is the head, and I don't know what this is. Following. Oh, he's by himself. It says following persons live on the block. Okay. I've never seen that before. I mean, He's single. He was in Texas. I guess that's supposed to be Lamar. It's no way to know. Yard man, private. It's no way. But Harnian, and Roxy are not that hard. I mean, those are names that should stick out. The only thing I can do, the only thing I could do to try to figure this out is, why doesn't he have a spouse? I thought that I added Mary. Yeah, there she is. I just need to refresh it. Let's see if we have a Mary who married a Willie Wilson that is getting hints and has children by the name of Roxy. Nothing. It's just no way. Mm-mm. I mean, it's worth looking at this death certificate. No. Mm-mm. So I'm at a dead end with this family. So the only thing that I could do is try to find a live relative of Willie Wilson, uh, because at least I have the obituary where Alf is saying, or where they say that Alf has a son and that he lives. This is Alpha's death date is 58. So Willie Wilson should be living in Oklahoma City in 1958. Willie Wilson, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, and Alf's death date is 1958. So I'm gonna do a search, a general search, all collections, and it's gonna be for Willie Wilson. Birth year is about 1905. Born in, let's just say Paris, Lamar, Texas. Unclick match all items. And I'm going to do it lived in. And I'm going to put 1958, Oklahoma, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Okay. And let's see if we could find Willie. So this is consistent. They already had that hint for him. And a person named Hatcher, T.L. Hatcher. Um, well, it brought up a 1930, which I think that is him in 1930. I think I have this source for him. No. Okay, so this is when you go back over here and you go back to see what sources you have for Willie. As usual, I double tap And remember, when you double tap, it takes you to the edit. If you single tap, it takes you to the sources. So that's not the Willie I have in 1930. In 1930, that's the one who's married to Roxy. So the other thing that I do, I really die hard. I'm gonna tell y'all. The other thing I do is follow people around. So he likes to be near. If this is the right one, I already remember that he was near Georgia. I'll go find Georgia, and I'll see if he's still close by Georgia in 1940. So Georgia, we know, is Alf's sister because he's her neighbor. So Alf's sister Georgia, where is she at in 1940? Do I have a source for her? Yes, I do. View the source for her. View image and look on the page. Just that simple. So let's see. She's got a new husband by 1940. She's with Bob. Well, no, she's actually alone. And I'm just looking to see if I see a Wilson nearby. By 1940, a lot of people were gone away from Texas. My grandparents were in Chicago by the end. Okay, so I'm just looking to see if I see any Wilsons near her. No, I mean, that might be the Browns next to her, might be related to her because she married the Brown first, so she might be still close to her children. It's real hard to know where people are. You got to chase them down, and it's worth it. It's worth it. Willie Wilson would be my uncle's, my what great times four uncle's possible son. I don't have a lot of business chasing him down, but he's connected to my family, and you just never know what you might find when you are looking. The other person that was nearby was Vina, Bob and Vina. So let me see where they are in 1940. I don't think he's with Vina anymore. View image. All right, let's just look and see what's going on with them. Oh, they have a grandson. So you see this Robbie Lee Edwards? He won't show up on the record. I'd have to find him. And Sturgeon Wilson. I think I have Sturgeon Wilson. I think I know who he's attached to. But right now, I'm still just trying to see if I can. It's hard sometimes when you are looking through these records because you see other names of people that you know are part of your tree, somebody you figured out, and you see a lot of people, and it's kind of like hard to just not look at them. Like the McFrazers. That is my Ellis Frazier side. My grandparents both came out of Paris, Texas together. They left at different times. So I'm giving up on that, right? But what I want to see right now is, do I have Sturgeon? I mean, just it popped out to me. So the way that I see if I have Sturgeon in my tree, if I figured out who is Sturgeon that's so close to Bob, he's older than Bob. Bob, oh no, he's not. He could be Bob's son. He might. I think he is one of Bob's son. But have I figured out who Robbie Lee Edwards is? He's on here, but he won't save. He won't save to anyone unless you put him with someone. So I don't have Robbie Lee Edwards up here. So I want to go back and figure that out. I'm not doing it tonight. So what am I gonna do? I'm going to go to my document. What am I doing here? I don't need a new document. It's already up. And did I? Okay. I want what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna copy, go to my document. I'm gonna paste, Control V, and I'm gonna put underneath it Robbie. I forget. I think it's Lee Edwards in home with Bob Wilson, son of Marianne Carter, grandson. Question: who is his parents? Okay, we already know it should be a female because the last name would be Wilson if it was a male. So it should be a female. So I'll get back to it. That one I will get back to. I'm trying to get them all. All right. So now I don't have to worry about, I'll deal with that later. But what I wanted to see was sturgeon. And I'm pretty sure, I'm almost absolutely sure I have saved sturgeon. But look, so what you do is you do view all others on the page, and then you click on sturgeon. Let me see what's going on. Let me anything is happening in the chat. Okay, let's see. You know what, Akia, peace and love first. But I should be in the bed sleep because I have to get up in about three. Well, it's 12, almost 12. I got to get up in 4 hours to start getting ready for work. So I'm not gonna be up too much longer. I'm gonna look at this. Oh, see, I do have sturgeon. I just want to see who is sturgeon in my tree. I do have him. Um, it bothers me right off the bat that I don't have him in 1910 and 1920. But he is oh, okay, so yeah, he's with his father. He's the son of Robert and Vina. So I'm just looking for people, that's all. Akia, if you still here with me, I'm just what should we call that? It's some kind of hunting, ancestor hunting. So yeah, so I got sturgeon here, and as you see how I have Vina does not have Wilson behind her name. I'm going to correct that, and I promise I am getting off of here. KSR, you probably still 25 minutes away from where you were. So I'm really going to go. I'm going to just make this correction to Vina because when I see that, I know, and I'm not sure if Vina married anybody else. I don't think she did. And the other thing, I just want to see, do they have a hint for 1910 and 1920? Yeah, they got 1910. I don't think that's him. Alice and Jesse. He doesn't have a sibling named Jesse. Oh, his mother is Alice. Yeah, that's not him. His mother's Vina. So let me just review other member trees and see if anybody else has 1920. I mean, 19, yeah, 10 and yeah, nobody has 1910 and 1920. I can find him, but yeah, it's not going to be tonight. I'm not going to look for him tonight. Let me see if he was gone away. See, if you look at the date of the draft registrations, sometimes that'll help you know where people are. Okay, so look, this is 1917. He could be gone to He could be gone to war or something. Oh, look his signature. That's his own signature. Otherwise, it would be an X. Oh, you there? Okay, KSR. Let's do something. Let's just do a little tiny bit of something. Let me. Are you going to join me on the panel? I don't think I have this. No, I can't do it. But I at least I can't. When you save a source from the view, uh, it is not. It doesn't work as well. You have to go view the record. Now I can save it to Sturgeon, Tom Sturgeon. Someone in my tree. Oh, not this tree. You gotta always remember to pay attention because a lot of times you'll have people in more than one tree. Okay, let me just put STUR. It's a unique name. He's probably gonna be the only one. All right, I'm gonna change his date of birth. I'm also gonna put Lamar County, Texas. All right. So at least I gave him another source. But what I am gonna do is I'm just going to. Oh, I mean, no, we could do let's just do like a quick few minutes. Let's just if you want to get on the panel with me, we can at least at midnight. I will do 10 minutes, 13 minutes, and then I'll go. We'll see what we can do. Let's see what we can do in 13 minutes. That's the challenge. Okay, let's see. So to see the sources that might come up the here, I just have to pull up this and then it might show me. So it got me a time. I think it's 19. So let's see it about this 1920. This is a some kind of place with all those names. That's some kind of. All right, I'm gonna get off of this. I'm tired of the Wilsons right now. All right. Okay, let me come over and oops, I messed up there. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna just put the link in and let's just have a little few minutes together. And let's just revisit. Let's see where we left off. It'll make our next conversation a little bit easier. KSR, the link is in the chat now. Okay, we'll see if he can make it. I'll stay on for I'm a at 12 o'clock. I'm gonna. I wish I could set a timer. That'd be a good idea for people to be able to set a timer, and then that way they don't go over so much. So let's see. Let me see. I don't know what I've done to. I got my phone on, so it says I can't screen share. Might have to call in. Well, you shouldn't have to screen share if you want to get on here. I got my phone up. If you get on, um, you don't have to screen share if it's something I can. If it's something on Ancestry, I can go to. But if you do have to call in, I will. I'll put that number up real quick. I'll see if you show up. I don't sleep that much though. I mean, I 4 hours is for me to sleep straight. 4 hours is unusual, really. I mean, I'll get up, I'll go back to sleep, but I think I came in and I slept for probably 2 hours or 3 hours, and then I power nap a little bit. We still got 11 minutes. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna go back over here. I got my phone on so I can see if you are coming in. I think what I'm gonna do is just close out of some of these, and again, just so you can see if I wanted to go back to any of these. So let's just say I wanted to go back to this DNA match here, then I could just click on the blue and click on the world, right? Or maybe I have to just click on the writing. It takes me right back to where I left off. Let's see. Okay, we can we start with Sherman, Tolliver, in South Carolina, I believe Orangeburg. Okay. Berg. Okay, are you gonna come up on the panel? I'll go ahead and get that working. If you can, just join me. Um, let's see. What I need, that's a unique enough name. Sherman, Tolliver. I was gonna say I need a birth I don't have a birth year, so I'm gonna just, it's a unique enough name. Let's just see what happens. So I have a Richland. Let me, it took me out of Orangeburg. So let me see if I do edit search. I noticed that ancestry will deduce and just make it straight South Carolina. Let's see, did you come in? Okay. KSI, it looks like you have your camera on. You want to have your camera on? I want to make sure. It looks like it doesn't look like I can see anything. I'll just add you to the stream. Peace and love.
Peace and love. What's going on?
Me and my, what you call it, my investigator. I forget what they call some. I guess I'm like the Pink Panther over here.
Right.
But
right.
you didn't give me a birth year.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I want to say between. Can we say between 1825 and 1840? But I think it'll definitely be before 1840.
Okay, I'm gonna go with 1825.
Because I
Can you?
can pull mine up in a second.
Okay. Can you tell me a little bit about Sherman? Is he married?
Um. Yeah, Sherman was married to a Martha Tolliver. Um, I can't think of the maiden right now, but he was is definitely Sherman married to Martha. He also had a son named Sherman Jr.,
Okay,
which
I
is
think I found them.
yeah. So Sherman Jr. is my grandmother's grandfather on her
Okay,
mother's side.
yeah, I think this would be them. So Sherman, do you remember the name Rebecca, Tina?
Yep.
Okay, yep, I found them. So they're in Lower Richland, South
Yep.
Carolina.
Yep. Yep. That's it.
Let's see
That's
something.
it.
So I want to see if we okay have so I have someone who submitted an alternative to the name.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen a person who is BJMCL 1211? Have you ever seen that person as far as saving the same information?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
I haven't.
Okay, so I want to say, so what I usually do, if once you save a source, so this is I'm gonna just drop this into a tree. This is my Finner Carver, a lot of last names tree, and this is my workout tree. And I just
Uh-huh.
add this to a new person, and then this way Ancestry can start giving a hint. So I didn't make any corrections right then, because once you add that, drop a person into a tree, they just standing alone in that tree. You got to still go back and save the source again to get
Right.
the person. Okay, so and so I'm just saving now. I'm saving him along with his family, and this time, this is when I'm gonna make the correction to his name because they have it spelled with a O.
Tolliver.
Yeah,
I think it should be. I know some
I
of
mean
them.
they have it spelled with an A. I'm sorry, they have it spelled with an A.
Okay.
And then
Okay.
I'm just taking Martha, and I'm gonna leave her last name blank. Now,
Okay.
do you know her maiden name?
Jenkins. It just came to me. Jenkins.
Martha's a Jenkins.
Yep. Martha's a Jenkins.
Okay,
And
and it's worth it to take the time and make the corrections right. At a place like this, opposed to just letting it go.
right.
Okay, and then when I have a junior, if junior is not included in the name, either way it go, whether junior is included in the name or not, I always make it a lowercase. Uh,
Okay.
that just helps me when like you go to save a record, and it makes it real easy to see which one is the senior. And I mean,
Yeah.
it's just a habit that I got into. And
Cause I just started working on my ancestry or whatever. As far as ancestry.com, I just started working with it like a month ago or whatever. So I actually got a whole tree and everything now.
okay.
But I mean, of course, I don't really know like the fundamentals like that, or I'm just not getting into it. So
You mean just like the kind of research methods that I'm using, those kinds of methods?
pretty much, yeah,
Okay. Okay. Well, let's see. So you did start a tree.
I did, yeah. And I would like to say I kind of found a connection, but I didn't want to like go ahead and start saving it and stuff like that. Even though it's kind of like I'm like 80% sure on that this is what it is or whatever. But I found an Edmund Tolliver, and I believe he's Sherman's dad.
Mm-hmm.
And Edmund, he was
So
married.
so wait a minute. You mean Sherman Senior, right?
Yeah, Sherman Senior. Sherman
Okay.
Senior.
Oh yeah, right. Of course you mean Sherman Senior. Okay. So immediately once I saved Sherman, I got some hints, right? And the
Mm-hmm.
hints that I have, um, right, they're in the same place. And I would agree with you just right off the back, uh, having a Sherman Tolliver in the house with the Edmund in 1870 here. I would say that makes sense to me. And in 1880, because the source that was saved initially, just now, the source I just now say that's 1900, and he's in Richmond. Um, yeah, it makes a lot of sense to me. What you want to remember is that like I have this extra tree. So on Ancestry, you don't have to just have one, the one tree. You can have more than one tree. I'm just come back over there for a minute.
Right. And see,
You
that's
can
what I
have
did.
more
I
than
just
one
pretty much
tree. And
right.
what you do is, if you're not sure and you just want to work it out to see if it's fitting, if it makes sense, but you don't want to add it to your public tree yet, just create another tree just for that purpose. And you end up saving things twice, but it's worth it.
Right.
It's definitely worth it.
Okay. Cause yeah, I just bunched both of them in the same tree or whatever.
But you put them together in the tree, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, you did right. Can you see my screen?
I can.
Okay. So this is the sermon, right? And then did you get hints like this? Do you remember if you got hints that helped you find Edmund?
I want to say I kind of had to search for Edmund. I want to say I had this. I kind of followed a few things and
Okay.
got Edmund.
Yeah, because it's bringing him up immediately, and it's giving you 1880, 1870, 80, 1900 we already have, then 1910. That's and the 1920 it looks like right here, but it says Harmon, but that's not unusual. That could be him. It's also in Richland. Yeah, I think that's right. But so one of the other things that I do, I don't save the ancestor memory trees, but I do look at them,
Mhm.
because you might find people in your family that you recognize the name already saving him.
Right.
Had you observed those people who are saving him?
Nah, I haven't. I didn't because sometimes, on two occasions or whatever, the people who like saved some of my family members or whatnot, I
Mm-hmm.
reached out to them, like I sent them a message or whatnot, and it
Mm-hmm.
was I want to say I got two messages back, and they were basically saying like it's not their family, but somehow it was
They
on
not
their.
saving him because they're related to him, but they may be saving him because he's an extension of their family or something like that.
Right,
Okay, I
right.
see. I see. All right. So that's why, one of the things that I like to do is use the DNA for the as a source.
Right.
That's how I've been using it as a source. So okay. So I would say, for example, the first person that's usually at the top of the ancestor family trees is the person that has the most record. This person who's saving him, you would have to go to his name, and then just you get some idea about why this person is saving him. But this person has a picture, and that's really cool,
You know
of,
what?
of Carolyn, if
I
it's really
saw that.
her.
I saw that and I did save it. Okay, so now I'm seeing stuff that I'm like familiar with. I did save this picture. I
And
did save
okay, and
it.
then you have a person saving her. So one thing that happens is, even if a person has a private tree, if they
Mhm.
save a picture, you can see them. Meaning you can see who their names, and
Mhm.
sometimes you can click on that name and they still might have a public tree,
Right.
or a picture, and you might say, "Oh, I know who that person is." But the thing is, like, this person, she does have uh, a tree that is a Tolliver tree, that is the tree that she has him saved to. Uh, And if she wasn't saving that picture, you wouldn't see her. They don't
Right.
have her. She is not included in the people that they show uh as a hint.
Right.
The only reason I see her is because she saved that picture. And it appears, you might find that that person, yeah, because I don't see her amongst yes, she is. Is this her? Yeah, this is her. She is amongst the people
Okay.
that are saving. But because of her name being Tolliver Harrington, um, as far as her member name, I would say she's related to the Tolliver family.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah. The one thing is, on Ancestry, there's no way for you to know if a person has a DNA unless they put it in the notes over, underneath their information that they
Hmm.
do have some people will say that they have DNA files and they'll name off the names, and they'll also say they're also on JED Match, and they'll put the number to see them on JED Match, like the file number. Other than that, it's really no way to know. So once people have DNA, they can, the only thing they can do is try themselves against someone. But
Right.
I would say that this person right here, Tolliver
Definitely.
Harrington, I would imagine she is connected in some way.
Hmm.
And that's all we can do really is compare sources with people, and it's almost like taking a consensus. Now, I've seen a lot of wrong information out there, but the consensus is that it's something that's maybe not true. And I've worked it out to prove that it's not true. And I just create the situation to show what sources I use, and I'll put notes there so that when people are looking at why my information is different, they can see exactly why. That's one of the reasons why I like to put stuff in the surname box, right? I put
Hmm.
stuff in the surname box because you can see it. If you see what's in the surname box, then but if I have it in my notes, you won't see it, right?
Right.
So earlier I was looking at let's see if I still can get to it. Oh, I'm not gonna go back over. It was the Wilsons. I was looking at the Wilsons, and I put in there, could this possibly be this? She's listed as a daughter at the age of 2, and then you don't see any more of her. But he has a son listed that's 3 years older, born 1905. And so I put in there right in the suffix box, so that way anybody can see that note. I want that to be a public note because I hope somebody answers it. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? If you pose a question, that gives a person a chance to answer. I know, right, Gretchen? Gretchen, I'm crazy over here. She say, I can't believe you still alive.
You
I can't
still up,
believe I'm
right?
still alive and still up.
I know. I know. I appreciate
Okay,
it too.
but I am. I'm gonna shut it down. But starting with that, if you can be on your account, and when we talk, tomorrow, if you can call me, I can certainly talk you through and kind of just be support staff for you.
Okay.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
I
And
appreciate you coming through, and hopefully, let's see, it's not too far past 12. When I hit that end broadcast, I'm going straight to sleep. I promise.
I know that's right. I know that's
Thanks for
right.
joining me. Thanks
No
for joining
problem at
me.
all. It was a great show. It was a great show.
Okay,
And I'll
great.
reach out
Yeah,
to you
I'll be
tomorrow
plugging
to
away
try to
at
set
it.
up a time or something.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, say that again. I couldn't hear you. Say that once more. I'm gonna let you close out my show. Actually, I'm gonna remove myself from the screen, and then when you tell me, when you wave or say peace, I'll just go ahead and end the broadcast. Okay.
Okay. Well, yeah, I definitely appreciate you having me on. It was a great show. I tuned in for most of it. You know, everybody keep doing your genealogy. If you need help, reach out to someone who's willing to, help you out and, be as good to you as Empress has been to me. So, everybody keep on with your search and stay positive. Peace.